Okay, so let's dive right in. Deep inside the NHS, there's this really fascinating pilot program going on. It's exploring how artificial intelligence could completely change what a doctor's day looks like. We're going to break down how an AI scribe might soon be a part of clinical conversations and what that really means for all of us. First up, a question to kind of frame the whole problem. If you had to take a guess, what's the one single task that eats up most of a clinician's time? Is it, examining patients, talking with them, figuring out a diagnosis? You might be a little surprised by the answer.
Because the reality for so many doctors and nurses is this constant tug of war between actually caring for patients and the absolute mountain of paperwork that comes after. Every single conversation, every little observation, every decision, it all has to be written down, perfectly. This admin burden is just huge, and that's the exact problem this whole pilot is trying to solve.
So let's get specific. The team testing this out isn't just any clinic. We're talking about a place where the pressure is through the roof, and every single second of a clinician's time is unbelievably precious. Meet the West Dorset Home Treatment Team. These are the folks on the front lines of community mental health. Their job is to provide super intensive care to people right in their own homes, all to keep them from having to be admitted to a hospital. It is complex, it's sensitive, it's urgent work, and the notes they take have to be absolutely spot on. So, with that kind of high-stakes environment in mind, how can technology actually help? Well, this brings us to the heart of the whole idea, bringing in an AI scribe. The tech itself is called Ambient Voice Technology, or AVT for short. The easiest way to think about it? It's like a smart digital assistant. It's an AI designed to just listen to a normal conversation between a clinician and a patient, and then, almost like magic, turn that chat into a perfectly structured, formal clinical note. Now, and this is so important, a huge level of safety is already baked in. The company providing the tech, Heidi Health, isn't just some random startup. They're on an official NHS England list. And what that means is they've already passed all these national checks for clinical safety, for data protection, for how the tech works. That's a critical first step for building trust. So, how would this actually work day to day? Well, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. The pilot is actually testing 3 different ways of using the AI, which gives clinicians a lot of flexibility depending on the situation. Okay, so mode 1 is live transcription. This is where the AI listens in on the conversation, with the patient's permission, of course, and starts drafting the note right then and there. Mode 2 is smart dictation, kind of a backup plan. After the meeting, the clinician dictates their notes, like they might do now, but the AI is smart enough to structure it all for them. And the third one, context-informed, is really cool. The clinician can give the AI previous records, and it uses that history to help create a smarter, more accurate draft.
Of course, the second you say, an AI is listening to my doctor's appointment, massive questions about safety, ethics, and privacy pop up, and rightly so. The pilot plan tackles these issues head-on with a really clear set of rules.
And this just shows how much they're putting the patient first. When they want to use the live listening mode, clinicians would use a simple, direct script just like this one. There's no jargon. It just explains what's happening, and most importantly, it makes it crystal clear that saying no is totally fine and won't change your care one bit.
This might be the most important safety rule of all. The AI is an assistant, never the boss. Every single word it writes is just a draft. A trained human clinician must review it, edit it, and then approve it before it ever becomes part of the official patient record. The human is always in control and always accountable. And to stop it from making mistakes, the AI is programmed with what they call critical rules. The biggest one? Never ever invent anything. If the information wasn't said in the conversation, the AI is told to just leave that part of the note blank instead of guessing or making something up. This is a huge deal for preventing the AI from hallucinating facts, which is a major concern with this kind of technology. The team has also really thought about what could go wrong. They've mapped out the risks. So for every potential problem, like the AI writing something inaccurate, or a patient just feeling weird about it, there's a clear, practical solution already in place, from that mandatory human review to the simple consent process we just talked about. But does this stuff actually work? Well, this pilot isn't just a shot in the dark. It's being built on some really promising early evidence. And it has very clear goals to figure out if it's a success in this specific mental health setting. So what does the data we have so far say?
A major NHS-sponsored study found that this kind of tech led to, get this, 23.5% increase in direct face-to-face patient time. It's that simple. More time talking, less time typing.
And check this out. Another pilot in a youth mental health service found that the time spent on paperwork was cut by more than half. Something that used to take 27 minutes to write up by hand took just 10 minutes with the AI's help. That is a massive time saver for every single patient.
But what do patients think? This number is key. In other similar NHS pilots, the number of patients who said no thanks to the live listening was less than 1%. That's incredibly low. It really suggests that when it's explained clearly, people are very comfortable with it.
So for this specific 8-week pilot in Dorset, the team is going to be tracking 3 main things. First, does it actually save time? Second, do the clinicians feel the notes are better quality? And third, and this is a big one, does it make them feel less burned out and more satisfied with their jobs?
All right, let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. What could a technology like this mean for the future of healthcare? Not just for one team, but for everybody.
And this really is the whole point. The ambition of the AI Scribe isn't to replace doctors or nurses, not at all. It's about taking on the boring, repetitive admin work, and by doing that, freeing up the clinician's time, and, just as importantly, their mental energy to focus on what actually matters. The human connection, the empathy, the real care that only a person can give.
Which leaves us with this one final, really interesting question to think about. We usually see technology as cold, maybe a bit impersonal. But what if, by taking away all the administrative junk, the right technology could actually make our healthcare experience more human? That's what this pilot is trying to find out.